Devin always loves it when we talk about Jeff Bezos.
I do.
Because
Who doesn't?
Is he in on this?
He is.
Is he coming?
He's not coming. We don't have a surprise
Is he watching
yet. He might be.
Jeff,
you never know.
Come on in.
Welcome. I'm Ethan Evans. I'm Vice President of Twitch Prime here at Amazon, and I'm one of your three hosts today. We're here to talk to everyone about working at Amazon, why you might want to do that, the interesting things we do here, and our forthcoming game, New World. And so with that, I'll allow our producer, Nick Lang, to introduce himself further, and then on the end we have Devin Nash, and he'll go next, and then we'll jump in. Have at it.
So I'm Nick Lang. I'm the senior publishing producer for Amazon Games. Of course, New World is the next big thing coming out, but I also look over a few other things happening in the Amazon Games space. Some of the most interesting thing is that I get to work with a lot of different types of teams and a lot of different types of games. That's fun.
I believe you.
Yeah.
How do they hear us?
How do they hear it? Right there. It's a fancy microphone.
I'm like obsessed
with
with
their
the
ears.
tech. Yeah, I'm obsessed with the tech because I'm a streaming guy. So my name's Devin Nash. I'm not nearly as cool as these two people. I don't know why I'm here. No, I'm kidding. I know why I'm here. It's because I'm really excited about things that happen on Twitch and Amazon, and I actually talk about it all the time on my stream. And I'm the CMO of a talent agency called Nerd Fusion, which you may know some of the broadcasters like Dan's Gaming, Giant Waffle. We host all kinds of Twitch talent. And I actually have the honor of working with people like Nick and Ethan because he decides to bring me in here some reason to talk about this stuff. So I'm really excited to be here today. I used to be in all kinds of places in esports and stuff. And I think most importantly for this, I am a very big old school, like Dark Age of Camelot, EverQuest 1 gamer, and like New World is kind of like an opportunity because there's this sinking feeling in every MMO player's heart.
Yeah.
Okay? That it just, for the past 10 years, we just haven't had that fix, that thing to fill the void of the soul. And when I saw the trailer for New World, I was like, this might be it.
Yeah.
This might be the one that I quit all other responsibilities and then I am only this.
The absorbing or letting yourself become absorbed by a new world, by a new world, pun intended.
Yes.
Being part of something that's big and complex and interesting. And I'll tell you,
difficult.
It's got some of and difficult, sure.
Mm-hmm.
It has the some of that DNA of those MMOs that you love. Some of the developers and some of the ideas.
Oh yeah.
It's there. We've lined up something really good.
Okay. Let's talk about it. What are we doing?
Yeah, so bigger context, right? Amazon, of course, gigantic company, has a lot of different opportunities. You have people, I've worked in all parts of the business, and I'm here not only because I run Twitch Prime, but because I went to Carnegie Mellon. So we love the fact that we have a ton of Carnegie Mellon talent and Carnegie Mellon students watching right now. We should have about 100 people.
Really?
There's 100 people in an auditorium, probably eating pizza at 6 o'clock.
Really smart.
Get a wave.
I wish I could have gone to a college like CMU. You guys are like in a super cool position.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to like a really small college.
I see the CMU love already starting.
Yeah, it's so I was there long ago. I graduated in 91 as an undergraduate in computer science, computer engineering. I went back and worked at the Robotics Institute as staff for a while. Then I discovered that at the time, the most advanced robot in 1993 or so that was in commercial production was Roomba. And
I have one of those.
Yeah.
I'm constantly afraid it's going to take over my house. I really am.
I had someone on Twitch who has one once say that it's the most expensive dog chew toy he's ever bought.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that's my history, and I run Twitch Prime now, but Amazon is so much more than that. So today, as we talk about New World, we're going to tie it into the underlying Amazon Web Services that support it, as well as Twitch Prime, which distributes it. I see a lot of Twitch Prime crowns in chat. So I hope you all, and of course for students, you should all be members of Amazon Student Prime, which gets you full rights to Twitch Prime. behind me over my shoulder, Devin was excited earlier. We have Contra.
This is amazing.
And we have a new drop available for Contra today as a part of Twitch Prime, so you can get free content in Contra or any number of other games from Twitch Prime. But bringing it back to New World, talk a little bit before we roll the trailer. We'll go straight into the trailer in a minute about the technological complexity of New World.
Oh yeah. When it comes to New Year, New World, the trailer that we released December 12th at the Game Awards, it was a huge event because everybody had known we were working on something, but this was really the big, hey, here we go. This is what it's all about. There are some components to it, some old DNA from the old school MMO, but also some bigger sort of what is this exciting and complicated and supernatural world that we get to experience. Really, when we talk about the complexity, what I always think about is the first M in the MMO is massive, right?
Yeah.
Massive. As soon as you get past a multiplayer game, Contra, love it, 2 players, right? Uh-huh. But what happens when it's 100 players? It's not really just additive. It multiplies.
Exponential.
Right.
Exponential.
Yeah. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's not just, it becomes sort of like almost like an arms race between designers and engineers and
players.
And players. What is
They're the worst ones, actually. Yeah.
Nobody stresses your game like a player.
That's right.
Yeah. And
100%.
And nobody stresses your game like 1,000 players. And so we have one of the things that you'll see a little bit of it when we roll this trailer. You'll see towards the end, a little bit of spoiler in case you haven't already seen it. You'll see something that we're talking about, like the invasion and the big siege warfare. Think about like 50 versus 50. It's not just 2 people playing at the same time. It's what I do affects what Devin does, affects what Ethan does, affects what somebody else is about to do, and then making sure all that stuff works at the same time. Super fun to figure out how to make chaos exciting. Also super fun to try and figure out how to make it run at 60 frames a second, work on 1,000 different computers. You know, be so interesting that you want to come back. You want to bring your friends into it. That's some of the stuff that we're talking about. And it's always fun to have a really cool bad guy. So there's some of that in the trailer.
Yeah, and we'll show that in just a second. I know Devin always loves it when we talk about Jeff Bezos.
I do.
Because
who doesn't?
Is he in on this?
He is.
Is he coming?
He's not coming. We don't have a surprise
is he watching?
guest. He might be.
Jeff,
you never know.
Come on in.
Welcome.
And now.
No, but when we started New World, Jeff actually gave us a challenge.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And so he gave us a challenge when we were going to build an MMO.
Yeah. Yeah.
To build one that only AWS could power.
Right.
To build an MMO that was truly massive in scale.
Oh man, so I am like so excited about this right now. Okay, I am literally your target demographic. Okay,
Nice to meet you.
Thanks. Yeah, like because I want to know like why this is cool. And so one of the biggest, I played a game called Warhammer Online that was developed by Mythic Entertainment before they folded into EA and then all that stuff happened. And then of course, and so RVR, which we're talking about like 50 versus 50, 100 versus 100. That was a very big technical challenge there because we didn't have stuff like AWS that could diversify servers in such a way that multiple people could play. And I feel like the technology that Amazon has will probably allow things to happen in this game that we have never been able to see in MMOs before.
Exactly. It's that you get back to that word massive. You talk about the scaling needs that something like AWS can do. We already know that AWS is like 90% of the video game industry as far as being able to power some of that back end.
Is that right?
Stuff. Yeah, that's it.
And I'm watching chat here. I think they have a misunderstanding when you talked about 50 versus 50. They're saying, oh, that's small. That's 50 versus 50 on screen at the same time, battling in high resolution.
At 50
right.
FPS,
Not the size.
Yeah.
We anticipate battles, and why don't I go ahead and roll the trailer to give a sense of that. But we anticipate battles for primary locations that will be far larger than that.
That's cool.
So this is a 4-minute trailer. Is this right? Is it that long?
Yeah,
it's a 4-minute trailer of New World. Watch and enjoy, and then we'll talk about it. You can talk. You'll be invisible, but there's a lot of loud music, but feel free.
It is an eternal island of legend, a place of unimaginable beauty, and a growing evil. where the forces of death and life are in constant conflict. For centuries, many have come in search of its power. Only to fall to its corruption. Lured by the promise of power and immortality, the darkness will claim you. Do you really want to live forever?
Us now?
Yeah, they should be able to now.
I guess we got muted. I've been talking the whole time, and because okay. I think it is super cool that you committed to actually making lore and world building, because that is something that we have not seen in a long time, I think, with games like this.
Yeah.
It kind of like harkens me back to like Blizzard cinematics and old school stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is it's very, and I'm like I have all these like questions like, why is he evil? Why did they change? Like, is there like a good versus evil element here?
Yeah.
Because I'm a big lore guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think when it comes to worlds like this, you need sort of that hook of the lore. Part of it, of course, the users are creating their own version of the story, their own settlement, their own sort of trying to understand what had happened before, but while they're also sort of building their own house and creating their own families and guilds and interesting things like that. The while the zombies are trying to kill you, you got to make sure that the flowers are in the right spot in your house. I just want
Dude, world building matters more than people think it does. Yeah. Like, I'm one of those guys that it's like it's 6 a.m. or it becomes 6 a.m. because at 10 p.m. I'm like, I really want to know about that weird race like the Jove and EVE Online. Like, why are they doing that? And then like I sit there and I'm like, whoa, and then I just like read like 20 pages of things. So like I will be the guy on the New World Wiki that is like just reading. Like, well, this is why the ruby is evil. Like, and I'll be like, the whole
there's a handful of people down in the studio in Irvine that are just thrilled to death to hear you say that.
Yeah,
because they spend time basically fleshing out all these characters,
it matters.
Building this lore, understanding where it might go in the future, and also where other opportunities are. At the same time, they need to make sure it's reasonable to fit into the game and the technology that's being built right now. So it's like this constant coordination between all that stuff. But some of the DNA that we keep going back to, some of that is there. That deep lore, those beautiful stories, all there.
So another thing, I think, I know some people who are watching know this studio. Part of the core of the studio, it comes from Double Helix, makers of Killer Instinct.
Yeah.
So do you want to talk a little bit about combat mechanics in the game? Because we have that history of a great fighting game inside an MMO.
Yeah, that's a good one. If I can go back to a second about the you brought up Jeff. We call him Jeff. You have to call him Mr. Bezos.
Wow.
It's a little.
I like this. They just met, but they've already got the smack down.
The thing is,
I just want to be clear.
The thing is, I'm just as beholden to him via, like, it's just a little bit further, like another like, it all links back though. So I'll call him Dr. Mr. whatever the hell he wants, dude. Just keep the Twitch checks coming.
The idea, that like these games are beautiful. We're all in on games. Jeff was like, "Hey, do something that is only possible with AWS." I will make my way to fighting. I
No,
promise.
I
will make my
believe
way
you.
to
I
fighting.
have faith.
The
You know the whole storyline, so I'm sure you can carry a story here.
I haven't been here for a real long time. I've been here just about a year now, but it's now a legend. It's a legend within like conversations where when Jeff was like, "We're all in on games. We're all going to do this, and we're going to do this an AWS way." One of the things he said is, he goes, "Aim high." Like we always talk about inventing and creating new things, and let's disrupt and let's be interesting. He goes, "I want you to try to think about games that are computationally absurd."
Yeah.
Part of New World and part of some of the other games that we're making here are with that in mind. That idea that we have such the support of such and the strength of Amazon to build some really complicated and interesting things, to go ahead and push ourselves into some interesting scenarios. So we talked about the 50 versus 50, everybody online fighting each other, the huge, huge worlds that we're building, all the lore. On top of this, or within this, is the combat system. So it's not just what I think in the industry we might call tab target. Like I'm gonna attack him, and then I just kind of hit the button until I'm done attacking that particular character. This is skill based, timing based, animation based, skills tree based, and also weapon. So if I have a sword and you have throwing hatchets, I need to think about how do I engage somebody like this, and it's not just a click of the button. It's I need to read your animations. I need to react to your motions. I need to go ahead and play the game in the sense very similar to like a fighting game. All this happens simultaneously online, huge worlds, all at the same time, and all has to be, of course, fair and beautiful and interesting.
So I think there's a good. Sorry, I'll let you ask. There's a good question here in chat. How does that relate to? How would you compare that to like the For Honor system?
Oh yeah,
Because that's a reference that a lot of people will know.
Yeah. No. Okay. So first off, can I name drop my very, very close friend who I just saw on the street on the way to work, Jason Vandenberg, who is the creative director for For Honor. So I am deeply familiar with this.
Okay.
That game pushed the limits on that sort of that type of gameplay. 100% do we reference that type of game, and also like a Dark Souls sort of. There's a little bit of block timing, my plan and how I might play. So I can play fast, or I can play strong, or now I have to change my strategy depending on the type of person. So sword versus sword is complicated. It comes down to skill. But if somebody rolls up with a Warhammer, I might want to switch to something that's a little bit more ranged.
So are you
or
weapons
change.
based like Dark Souls in the sense that like a
Yes.
weapon change?
Yeah, that kind of stuff. A weapon
totally
does
understand.
change your animation. A
Okay.
weapon does change the type of moves and the timing that you might work on. Yeah.
Okay.
Good reference. Got to be careful. Dark Souls is sometimes that can split the room, right? Some people love it and some people don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have some insanely difficult questions that I'm very excited about, because you know what always annoys me about interviews and stuff is like you never feel like the interviewer is asking the question that is actually the thing that gamers want to know. So
Okay.
so
This is your chance.
So-
oh yeah, yeah, because they didn't tell me what I can and can't ask, so we're going in, boys. All right, okay. So I gotta know, like, what is the thing that keeps me coming back to this game over and over and over again? What is the compelling element of New World that actually makes me want to play this and gets me into it? Because MMO after MMO has
Yeah.
tried and failed to captivate audiences,
Yeah.
and we've seen this happen over and over again.
Yeah.
What makes you different?
So I'm gonna evade a little bit, but we're gonna play. It depends on what kind of player you are. We're back to
Okay.
that massive that sort of massive thing. I'll be honest. When I play MMOs, I am the blacksmith. I am the
You craft.
I craft.
I respect
That is what
it.
I do.
Yeah.
I'll go out and I will attack the rat or the turkey or the whatever I need to go punch to go ahead and get the
To get
level
the
up.
hide to make
Yeah,
the thing.
Exactly. I'll do that.
Yeah.
And in this game, the crafting trees
very
are
deep.
very deep. It's very extensive.
Does it matter? Are the items better that I get from crafting?
Without a doubt, yeah. The better you are at crafting, the better the items get, the further you can go. Also, because the world is so different, you get to certain elements and certain resources are only available in certain areas. So then we get into
Fighting.
custom or
Territory.
Yeah.
We got territories. Also the economy, so the user-driven economy where I need to get iron from this region and I need to get leather from this region, and I'm the only one that can craft this particular type of hammer. And you're a hammer guy, but you're a fighter, so you don't spend any time, developing your crafting tree. So it depends. Now, if you're a fighter, there's PvE. There's plenty of monsters. We saw them in the trailer. We'll see a little bit more of them a little bit later. We'll see some other stuff, but there's also PvP where you can go into and you can go and duke it out with other real humans. There's full sort of the overwhelming invasions of some of the bad guys as the supernatural forces start to fight back against you.
Really?
Yeah. And
so the game itself fights back against you.
Yeah, the whole idea is that the island that you're coming to visit, it doesn't actually want you there. And that's why we've got some of these corrupted, some of these zombies kind of looking for you.
That's very cool. Okay, so the
Let me tease Devin with this. The central design theme, which I've always found really compelling about this game, is the more you build up with your allies your base, the more the world's fabric resents it. So the more the nature of the island. So as you try to build up a bigger base and a stronger guild and bigger fortifications, the more the enemy, the nature itself, not just your human competition, your player competition, but your environment responds to that.
It's like this three-way war.
Well, that's that. So I always feel like those games have the best elements, because if you have faction versus faction, there's always going to be a side that plays more on the one side than the other. Yeah. So you have to always have a third element, or you can't complete that sort of like holy trinity, to get that done. Yeah. So I 100% am on page with that. One of the things that compelled me so heavily in RVR games were the reward systems that were attached to owning territory, and this sort of like progressive benefits that you had by actually successfully maintaining a civilization. Yeah. Have you kept that in mind?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So there's different companies control different territories. They have strongholds, and then if you're part of the company that it owns that particular territory, you get a couple of buffs, a couple of perks for being part of that group. You don't have to. You can also sort of, hey, I'm a traveler. So here's the way I play right now, which kind of irritates some of my friends, is that I'm just a singleton. I don't belong to any factions, so I can travel, no problem. But also, I don't get the benefit of being part of the group. But I don't get necessarily. Nobody throws any shade on me if I go to another group either. When wars start, if one territory, one company is going to attack another company, try to take over that region, they're gonna. I won't necessarily be part of that war, but that's okay because remember, I'm a crafter.
Yeah, so you're providing weapons to both sides.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, you're
that's
the
right. That is exactly right.
You're the warlord.
Yep. So I profit no matter what.
When we say company, do we mean guild?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so let's talk about profit. What's the economy? Are you doing auction houses? Are you doing trade, like old school trade? Like people gotta talk to each other, like normal humans, or like do we get rid of that?
So I'm gonna be a little bit careful because we're releasing Dev Diaries here in the next couple of months. And we're gonna get into that a little bit more. But yes, pretty much. How's that? Is that good enough for right now?
Well, I'm. No, but that's all you could do. That's okay. Yeah. But like, just to give like some kind of context, maybe to give you a little bit more ammo to use. Like, like you look at a game like Eve, or a game like, or like some of the games that I think are kind of heralding after the sort of New World theme. Yeah. And I would say that the most important things are progressive reward systems, which you've paid attention to, and economy. Yeah. Economy needs to be persistent. It needs to have sinks, so that people don't inflate to crazy prices, and then after a year, everybody has like Uber gear and like full plate and stuff, right? Right. So like the economy has to be robust enough, and I actually think that a big aspect of economy is not like just automating it and making it super simple across the board. I'm very curious how you approach that.
Yeah. There's like two different versions. One I think you're referring to as an automated economy, but there's also like a player-driven economy where there are resources that are collected. Then there are different types of different points for different types of trading.
Do you have ways for those things to leave the world, or does it all accumulate?
That one I can't answer right now. Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you're still thinking about it, think about economic sinks. I think it's really important for the sense. Like, but is there what I guess I'm asking in general is Is there something you can lose in this game? Is there stake?
Oh yeah, sure, absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Completely.
Absolutely, and that comes back to like where you play is friendly for you versus making money versus losing money versus a sink, extra taxes for different regions, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So
I want
think-
to lose everything.
Yeah, let's
Take it all away.
Let's.
Yeah.
You like pain.
I do.
With failure.
Lots of
Let me roll one of the clips of our dev diary, which is also out in public, but it'll give a sense of what kind of people are building the game and what skill sets we need. It's short. I think we'll be muted again. That's how we're set up here. But
New World's an open-world MMO set in an alternate version of the 17th century. It takes place on an island we call Eternum.
It's a place of legend. It's a land of power and of treasure. It's a place where your choices matter.
You get to live a life that is full of danger and adventure on a supernatural continent that has only just been discovered.
We wanted to build this version of a haunted Eden. We wanted beautiful, picturesque landscapes with danger around every turn. There's these hints of supernatural and these things that show you're not really anywhere you've ever seen before.
Contrast is something that we really want players to feel as they move around the world. Every space they enter feels different and special from the space behind it. They feel like every hill they're going over, there's a new adventure.
Not many people know too much about Eternum yet. I think that's where you come in as a player. And there are threats, but there's also opportunity.
Rumors swirl about the power and danger of the island, but the people who go there don't really know what they're going to find. It could be Shangri-La, or it could be something out of their worst nightmares.
You okay?
They're gonna start talking about companies and stuff.
all right, here we go. We're back. So yes, I cut myself off. I was so eager to run the clip, I cut myself off mid-sentence. That's how it goes.
I promise we're not scripted, chat. I'm not on a script here.
No,
I wouldn't
Devin is
do anything.
definitely not on a script.
I'm actually. It's actually
Maybe that's how
amazing.
we're that good. We sound like we're on script.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
it.
nice.
I like your comment.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's
The
good.
jibby your jab.
Thank you.
Yeah. We're
So
not.
that though gave a little sense of how we're thinking about the world and also some of the range. We've talked, obviously, a lot of the audience at Carnegie Mellon is the computer science program and developers, but we actually need people all across. We need artists. We need all sorts of skill sets on the game. We also need people in the back end building the game engine, building the scalable services in AWS, and then throughout Amazon. We have a question that came in from within our auditorium at Carnegie Mellon that asks, what kind of social systems will exist to play with friends or clans? So what can you say about social organization in the game?
So we talked a little bit about the companies and the regions that they might own, and also being able to sign up for different fractions within companies. So crafter, builder, and then we both work for a company. Then there are community bulletin boards. If our guild master is in charge of this particular territory, there's a bulletin board that says, "Hey, we're all working on a special something. We need to craft 1,000 hammers." Or,
So that implies that there are actual things in the game that require multiple people to band together on to do.
Yes, exactly.
And that might be some like siege weapons and like some big fortresses
that
and
stuff,
stuff.
all open, all those avenues are open. But again, we're back to the word massive. Coordinating that sort of social group to help to work together, all that stuff.
Cool.
Takes a lot of work to build a fortress in this game. You can do it.
No, it should though.
Takes a lot of logging.
It should. It should be a big deal. I mean, yeah, it should be. That's cool.
I am so not a builder.
Really?
No. The best way to describe me in a game like this is scout. I want to run around and look at everything cool.
Yeah.
So I just end up running around until something kills me because I'm mostly interested in like
exploring new
like what's over the next hill. It's kind of how you know I live my life. So there's no real inconsistency.
It's a beautiful. I mean, the game is stunning. Even if I do say so myself. The game.
Chat, by the way, wants to know. Sorry,
Go
if
ahead.
we're listening to them and they say, "I hope there's fishing. I'll fish all day." And at least in one of the builds I played, there was fishing. Can you say, is there still fishing?
I cannot
can't
say that there
confirm
are
or
fish.
deny.
I cannot confirm or deny that one.
All right.
It's funny how
I
popular
have
fishing
fished.
has gotten in games.
I have fished,
I love.
but apparently we can't talk about
I love these mods, dude. Add block term boner.
Yeah.
Sorry, the mods are intense here, but we are listening to chat. We are, 100%. Yeah.
You just have to be polite in chat, maybe in this case, right? Because we want to put on a good show for our student audience.
I did notice there's a question there talking about what kind of fantasy, what kind of monsters we can expect.
Okay.
So it ramps up the deeper you get into it because the island is definitely supernatural. There are a lot of surprises out there for what's awaiting the intrepid explorer like yourself. And that's what's probably one of the more interesting things about it.
Awesome. So we also have a question with crafting being mentioned. What kind of economy system is being planned for New World? I'm not sure how much you're comfortable touching on that, given some of your earlier answers to Devin.
Yeah.
But is there anything more you want to add to that, or just say stay tuned for the future?
I'll keep going back to the DNA that we talked about. That stuff is really strong, especially down there at that studio. Also, I will keep referring to that player generated, that sort of player driven economy.
Well,
certainly sinks are in there, and it's an important part of sort of managing your territory and some of the buffs that you get for owning that territory and why.
I know what he's talking about on that, because that's a really important aspect, especially of endgame. It has to matter why you own stuff, and you have to sort of appeal to that ever-growing desire that is the endless Cthulhuian hunger, Lovecraftian hunger that players have to progress.
Right.
And so that gets into my questions about, like, again, like, if there's one thing I want to, like, get out of this, it's, like, what compels a person, especially endgame, right? So I'm playing this game 6 months later, because I played DOC for 4 years. I played EverQuest 1. My mom had to put quesadillas under my door so that
This is a well-known Devin legend. This is not the first time I've heard.
Why didn't she open the door?
Because I would like be like Bilbo Baggins, like with the ring. Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, it was that kind of thing. Like it was like real shit.
I only ate flat food for 6 months because of
that and crushed grapes.
Yeah,
that was it. So like I want that kind of experience at a New World, and that's why I'm asking those questions, because I'm trying to build an idea in my mind of like what compels me to come back to this game in a literally obsessive and completely unhealthy way.
Yeah. Well, what were some of those things that were compelling and some of those things that were interesting are absolutely being considered as part of the design. Also, games are no longer just a simple sort of ship it and we're done with it. This is something that we're into for the long haul. Something that we think about. What are we going to do in the next couple of weeks? What are we going to do in the next 6 months? The next year? So there's always interesting content to go ahead and experience and be part of.
That was too much of a developer answer.
Hey,
releasing more stuff ongoing.
I want like what gets me to log into the game again. Like, and so I think. So maybe progressive rewards or like some kind of like. But one thing I did pick up from that is like you're committed to adding more stuff.
Yeah. So there's progressive. So there's progressive awards. There's sort of what we're calling classless progression. So instead of just becoming, I choose to be a builder, and now this character is the builder. I can choose to be the builder. Imagine if my mom's feeding me quesadillas through the door. I can go ahead and max out that whole character, that whole text stream. I can switch and become,
but still have the previous
and still
skills.
have with the same character. Yeah, because the character of the weapons or the character of the devices that I'm holding, whether I'm a magic user or
there's magic.
Well, it's supernatural. So
but can I be a wizard?
Absolutely, yeah. We will see some of this. We'll see some of this in some of the other dev diaries.
Yeah, I'll run the next dev diary in a second.
But you keep the same characters. So how many World of Warcraft characters would you have to go ahead and be different types of
But this one,
you can pick that character.
well, this reminds me again
classless
of the
progression.
DNA,
Yeah.
right? Is like the old school Eve stuff. And now what I'm wondering is like,
Yes.
how long does it take to progress a character? Because on other MMOs, you can
Yeah.
go for years and you don't have that complete
Yeah.
character, and that is an incredible
Yeah.
like that's how you answer the end game question.
Well, I tell you what, that's
Right,
what's happening
yeah.
right now is we're trying to figure out exactly what that right balance is. What we're
Dude,
know,
I
we're
think it's
coming
like
towards the end.
I think it's
here.
like 5 to 10 years. I think it should take so long to make a fully fresh character. I'm building this game
This
now.
is-
Yeah,
so-
yeah.
This is like the MMO. This is the MMO thing. Like the game gets really good when you're at level 30, and level 30 takes 5
Yeah.
years. Well, I want the game to be fun in the beginning too, but absolutely in the end.
Dude, I know that's the right answer, but I like to be just a total useless potato for like 6 months, and then like you just become this like god, and like you're just rolling to it.
The honesty here is painful, Devin, but I know you. It's
But
true.
I do think you can do both with when you're, because the cool thing about this that's actually differs from a game like Eve is you have animation based stuff. So what I'm understanding from that is that you could be really good with a weapon just because you understand timings.
Yep.
And so you may not have proficiency in the skill,
Yeah.
but you actually go in and you're super good at it because you know that like you're mechanically good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Skill
And that's
based,
a really cool
skill
element.
based still wins. Skill based still wins. So you could be
As it should.
a lower level, but because your skill is better, your understanding of how the game works is better, you can go ahead and fight somebody that might be a higher level and still come out on top.
That's how
And
it
again,
should be.
this is where
Alright.
we get into the
Well, let me. Character
complexities.
building is next, so
Yeah, there you
I'm
go.
going to cut us off again. Run the character building part of the.
The thing that gives Eternum this power and makes it supernatural and special is there's this mineral that runs below the earth. It's called Azoth, and it's known to have magical properties. Azoth can amplify things.
Azoth itself is not really a good or bad necessarily. It's just this pure raw energy.
Azoth has power to change things
It makes things more beautiful.
and deadly.
Azoth is different for everyone who sees it or knows about it. For some, it's the Fountain of Youth. For some, it's the Philosopher's Stone. For some, it's the living embodiment of God or the devil. But one thing's for sure is it gives you, the player, a lot of really interesting powers to play with.
When players arrive in Eternum, they find evidence of other civilizations having been trapped there throughout history.
The whole world is open to you, and you're only limited by your skill and the difficulty of the enemies that you run into.
It's completely classless, so you choose how you want to play by choosing the equipment, and the weapons you choose also defines your play style. Players will have a lot of freedom to choose what they do and how they do it.
One of the fundamental tenets of New World has always been autonomy, and that manifests in every single system in the game.
The game adapts to the player and their play style. Want to become the best blacksmith or the best sword fighter? The progression system supports that. They just have to keep doing what they do best.
I'm not sure if that got
I
cut.
know. I had to wait to take us off mute for that discussion.
There's no mod here.
There's no
I
mod
am the
here.
mod.
Yeah, they're powerless in the room.
You're the only one that can save us.
Yeah.
That's why I waited on the
He can't
button.
save it. It's a two here.
We'll just
Yeah.
say that Devin was discussing how the game could be addictive given what he just saw. How it could be compelling and you'd want to play a lot.
Can I say
A
what
certain
it
level
was?
of attention.
I mean, like, is that not a thing?
Well,
Yeah.
maybe a little graphic.
Okay.
Devin was discussing. Let's say Devin was discussing the problem of being into a game so much that bio breaks are a challenge.
Optional.
Optional.
Yeah. If the MMO is good enough.
Is this a word
Yeah.
that people would know? Because I feel like I'm out of the loop.
Poop socking?
And so there it is. He snuck it in anyway.
100%. If you rated on WoW for long enough, you gotta know this word.
Okay.
All right.
Devin, no.
I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
So
They know what they did when they brought me here.
people in chat and in our back channel have been asking what kind of roles are there for the people watching, right? And the key message we have both for the online audience and at CMU is you could work on this game. You could work on the AWS backend services that support the game. You could work on Twitch Prime with my team where we'll help distribute the game. and content for it.
I was at Amazon for 5 minutes today after I got out of my Uber, and I met 4 people that did separate jobs. And like one person that had an esports background. Like we had like studio man. There's so much going on in this place, and also this is like one building, and they have like.
Yeah, about 60 in this city, something like that.
That's very many buildings.
That's just
and
we're
now
in
you're taking
Seattle.
over Bellevue. I just read an article, like 15,000 people there. So there's all kinds of stuff you can do. And I have like a weird. It's weird too because I do a lot of stuff in partnership with Amazon and Twitch because I do like these kind of things, and so that's yet another opportunity. It's like you even like you can be directly working and like on like your team, or you can be affiliated in some way like I am, and it's all pretty cool.
Yeah, and at the end of this, we'll show the open roles we have both on this team and at Twitch. So we have a set of slides we'll go through after we finish talking about the game, about how you can work on the game.
Yeah.
So the other question I wanted to prompt for you though is Lumberyard, because there was a question about the game engine, and then I'll let you take it. But what
I
would
was
you...
just gonna riff off you.
Well, okay, so for the because I know you're interested in the game engine as well.
Well, yeah, but I was like on that note. I think one of I was like trying to think like, well, like if I was a CMU student or something, because there's a big auditorium of people. Apparently, I don't know if you guys are really there, but I trust.
Yeah, they are. They're there.
And you're like, okay, this game looks cool, and I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna poop sock this game, but why should I care about how? Why should I care about like with Amazon and like because you could actually like work here and do this, right? Like this is actually a thing you could work on, and you could create this for players like me that are going to do that. And like I think that's such an amazing opportunity to think about, that it's like, okay, like when I was coming out of college, I had no idea what I was gonna do.
Yeah.
And I still don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but
day
like,
by day.
or minute by minute or whatever it is.
It's been a wild ride.
Yeah. And so take an opportunity to like think of like, man, if I could work on some of the games that I actually truly love to play, that is a very cool feeling.
Yeah, it absolutely is a very cool feeling to be part of a game that you love, especially if you got a chance to work on the game or the kind of genre that you really loved, like MMOs.
Yeah.
But at the same time, once you just spend a little bit of time here, you start to realize how people work in this industry. One of the reasons beyond just being entertainers is because they get to do so many different things. There's artists, there's the designers, there's security back end, there's people that work with other groups like the game team coordinating with Twitch. This sort of like giant ball of anything is possible, and we have to be as inventive as we can.
And you need a huge team, right?
It's just and
like
it's
how many people
so
are
much
working
action.
on New World?
Oh, we don't really talk about the size of the teams, but it's more than we have on this couch.
That's such a troll answer, dude. Like, is it hundreds, thousands, hundreds of thousands?
Depends on how you measure it. Do you include all the people that are part of the finance groups, part of the security groups, part of the AWS?
Those are the
groups,
real heroes, man.
Part of
the accounting people.
How about customer service? You know,
but that's
sure.
Well, there's no doubt to be
Customer service is the actual heroes.
I'm
basically customer service for Amazon already because I answer Twitch chat. So
effectively the same thing as being obsessed. Yes,
it's definitely, if you draw the circle big enough and count all the people that support the game organization with things like building the engine, building the scalable systems, that will allow us to scale and shard the world, then it's a hell of a lot of people.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting way to answer the question. The number of people in the studio is a fraction of what it takes to put out a commercial
game of this quality.
A game of
This is a AAA game. I
mean,
and it's really AGS's flagship, basically, right? Like, I mean, is that safe to say? Like, you guys are going in on this one.
As far as the MMOs go, this is our first MMO, and and we're going big on it.
Yeah. All right. So let me roll one more part of the dev diary to finish those, and then we'll talk about open jobs and how you apply, because I see people asking how to apply in chat.
More clips.
And we want to do that. We want to bring on and show that. So let's go clips. So I'll cut us off again. We'll be right back.
There's multiple settlements all over the world, and the corruption is always this invasive, aggressive force that's constantly trying to push back, trying to drive players out.
The corrupted have massive armies growing in the north, and some of their influences are beginning to trickle down to the south, where players are trying to build their homes. And they have a very particular idea of how the power of Eternum should be used.
The world is going to push back against you in a couple of interesting ways. For one thing, as you grow more powerful and you head deeper into the world, obviously there's going to be resistance to come up and meet you. But one of the most exciting things about the game is that as you and other players begin to form settlements and you begin to push back the things in the woods, they'll come for you. You're going to find some really interesting battles that have to get fought in order to keep your foothold in this world.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
May 26th.
Wait, that's like next month.
Sort of.
In my mind, it is.
Yeah. It's
I'm
really
sure for the
soon.
producer,
Really
it's
soon.
really
That's
soon.
actually really. Wait, it's like what time is it? It's
Yeah.
February now.
No.
Then there's March, April, May.
Yeah.
You're actually gonna do this. You're gonna release it in May.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You can pre-order it now.
Pre-order it now. That's right. Get in.
That's
get
really
in early.
soon.
Get in early.
I was hoping this was like longer out so that like I didn't have to lose my life in 3 months. But I guess I'll just plan for that now.
Make plans. Make plans.
Yeah.
Well, we could ruin your life earlier by bringing you into the beta program.
That'd be neat.
We
Yeah.
could totally. There's ways to like totally destroy
That's true.
March and April for you
Okay.
as well.
Let's discuss that. Yeah, I'm getting the Amazon in. I'm doing it. Yeah, I love that. Are you in like friends and family right now, or what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Friends and family. Yep.
Am
Starting
I-
to talk about those balancing
Have we been sitting on the
aspects.
same couch for long enough for you to consider me a friend?
I'm getting there.
Because I'm definitely your
We've got
friend.
a few
for the
minutes
purposes
left.
of
Yeah,
this.
There's plenty of time for bad choices to be made, but I'm positive. I'm optimistic.
Okay. Good.
So we've had some questions from the folks at CMU. Does Amazon have any non-online titles in development? I think that's a good pivot to talk to our focus about harnessing Twitch. Because obviously Twitch is a part of Amazon. And so broadly speaking, while I won't answer what we do or don't exactly have in development, our focus is on building things that work well on Twitch, that can be that stream well, that the audience hopefully will enjoy watching, so they not only watching their streamer, but also watching the gameplay and enjoying seeing that. I'll let you add though. What would you say about New World and Twitch?
The relationship with Twitch has been good. One, we're in the same company, like you said. The ability to kind of get together with people who are experts in their individual areas, experts in Twitch and experts in MMOs, and say what would be cool, what would be interesting. So we've been that's been interesting to see happen over time, because there's always something from a different perspective from somebody else's the way they view the world, the way they view the industry. Wouldn't it be neat if? And in games, more than any other industry that I'm familiar with, you can sort of operate and activate on that statement pretty quickly. So with Twitch, we've got like Streamer Spotlight.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's pretty fun, because all of a sudden you can start to see two different streamers playing together at the same time. And of course, we just want to make a big part of entertainment.
So for Streamer Spotlight, if I recall that correctly, I only saw an earlier implementation. I think a streamer could choose to identify that their character in game belonged to a streamer. So if you ran into them and I saw someone, I could actually see their Twitch tag above them.
Oh my God.
And know that I had found.
That's a huge mistake. You're gonna get. That's gonna be a shit show. That's gonna, I can't
Mods,
wait.
we need moderation there on Devin.
Moderation on the couch.
And the Amazon security is coming in.
No, we've thought about it, okay? We haven't done that thoughtlessly with the problems of stream sniping and trolling of streamers. And that's why it's a choice. But the cool thing, the reverse of that is, if you can get on camera with a streamer, you can know that if you're with that character, whether as an ally or as an enemy, you're going to be visible to their audience if they're streaming.
Yeah, I understand why you're doing it. I don't know if I completely fathom the implications of such a thing. But Twitch Amazon integration is something I never considered before this second, and all the stuff that you can do because you are Twitch. Yeah.
A lot of entertainment comes down to
that's
convenience.
actually crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
You're literally
And
your
you're in
whole
the building.
platform is available to you because you are literally the platform.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah, exactly.
You
It goes
can, like-
beyond that too. Think about things like Alexa. I mean, there's the opportunity is available for some of these students. Some of these students coming in, and if you've got the right idea, you make the right friends, and you come up with something. Hey, wouldn't it be cool if? And then and that's how we get some interesting stuff.
That's
happen.
really cool.
Yeah, you can deeply integrate Alexa skills into the game.
Yeah.
We have even considered in some games having Alexa be a character, like be the Oracle of Delphi equivalent in a game.
That's insane, dude.
Yeah.
That's actually crazy.
So there's a lot of different ways you can bring in parts of Amazon.
Yeah, extensions. There's like you could actually integrate the game itself into the like things can happen on the website,
Right.
Because you are watching it at the same time.
Sure.
As,
access to the retail world. I mean, it just sort of if you brainstorm and you blue sky, you talk about access to the retail world is something that there is no other company you could be part of and have access to something like the retail world that Amazon offers. Now, I want to say also that we're all pretty busy doing work, doing jobs, so we need people from CMU to come to kind of
we need people
solve some of these problems.
So, since we're near the end of an hour, and we can keep talking, we're going to take audience questions more in a second. But I want to invite one more person onto the couch. Danny McKenzie is part of...
Oh, this is going to get intimate.
Yeah, we're going to... You don't have to go too much further. You'll be off.
I'm off camera now, guys.
So,
I'm back.
Danny is our... inclusion...
Now we're friends.
Now we get the beta code.
I got to go.
There we go. Yeah, they're friends now.
I've been laughing off camera the whole time.
I'm terribly sorry.
Danny...
I'm a huge problem in things like this.
Danny is our...
It's actually the best I've done.
This is true. This is a highly filtered Devin.
Yeah.
It's so filtered that
I don't enforce diversity and inclusion, but I do advocate for it. So I'm not going to tell you can't.
Yeah,
he's diverse and inclusive.
Yes.
That's not the problem.
I've got all those things. Yeah.
So Danny is our inclusion Jedi on our team. Works to make sure that our employee populace is welcoming, inclusive. You can say more. But she's also going to take us through the roles that we have and how to apply. For the folks at Carnegie Mellon, of course, you have one of our student programs recruiters, Andrea, there in a room who can help you directly. But for everyone watching, we'll go through what we have. And so I skipped this slide earlier. I'll do this one and I'll turn over to you. Perfect. This is just what Amazon Games is as we think of Amazon Games, and it's part of larger Amazon. So we have the game studio itself, makes games. We have Twitch. You all know Twitch because you're watching us there right now. And then you have what I do, Twitch Prime, which is Amazon's prime program for gamers.
And we missed Game Tech.
And we missed Game. Well, we decided not to be exhaustive, but we also have within AWS we have a group called Game Tech that builds the underlying systems, including the game engine. So with that, I'll pop to this slide about our currently open internships and let you talk about it, Dan. Also, feel free to introduce yourself further if you wish.
No, I think Danny the Jedi works because because everybody can find me in Phone Tool that way by just typing in Jedi.
Are you an evil Jedi or a good Jedi?
I'm a gray Jedi.
Oh, I like it. You got like the yellow saber.
Wouldn't an evil Jedi be Sith?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's the lore. Yeah. But there's also Dark Jedi. But this is probably beyond the scope of.
I feel like
it's all good. This is a gaming couch.
I'll tell you later.
Is that canon? Is that canon?
Totally. Well, now the canon's so messed up, right? Because after 2015, they like shut out all the books. So you like we can do this later, right?
Yeah. Right. Okay. Now we are in the weeds. It gives you a window into Amazon culture.
We're going to argue about this later.
Yes. Over beer. But. To get on to my part of it is one of the things I do is I run our recruiting program for internships for Amazon Games and Twitch Prime specifically, with the goal being that we're looking for diverse perspectives, we are looking for cognitive diversity, we are looking for lived experience diversity, because as you can imagine, as you go to build a game or you go to build game technology, you need to be thinking about all the possible players, all the possible viewers of the game. And how do you want to have experiences that work for everyone? and how do you want to have experiences that resonate with whoever comes to join us and come play with us. And so we are looking for all sorts of people to come build the future with us. Benefit packages right there. You are paid basically an equivalent salary if you were full-time. You get a prorated version of that for the 12 weeks that you're here. You get experience either working on games or game technology. You get a mentor. We give you a stipend so you can afford housing and food and stuff like that while you're here. There are dedicated programs that you get to go out on South Lake Union on the annual boat trip for the interns. There's a bunch of things we do to make it fun and exciting and interesting, and convince you to come back if you can as a full-time employee at some point. And again, this is just a 12-week internship, so you get that summer break of coming to work in Seattle when it's the best weather.
Absolutely true. And there was a question went by in chat. I want to hit straight up, which is the question was, which group works on Lumberyard, the game engine? And that's a group I didn't list on this slide. We'll go backwards, which is Amazon Game Tech. Game Tech builds Lumberyard and the other parts of our underlying scaled AWS services, and they would love to have you. And I think when we get to the list of internships, we actually have an internship opening in that organization. So should I flip to that now?
Actually, there's a great question about can I put my anthropology degree to work in the games? Yeah, actually, my background's psychology. I didn't
Mine too.
See?
I have an art degree.
Awesome.
Also cool.
See?
Yeah. That's why the New World is such good art.
I'm the only geek on the couch. Well, not the only geek, the only officially trained one.
I never got my CS degree because I was telling you about the startup earlier. I ended up diving into startups before I got my degree.
This guy with his engineering, get out here with your numbers and your buildings.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. With my robots and my code.
Yeah.
All
trying to
that
take over the world
stuff.
over here. Yeah.
But yes, if you've got an anthropology degree and you're interested in how people and games and technology come together to make a magical thing happen, there might be a home for you here.
So let's show the list.
Yeah.
Here we go. These are the 4 that we have open right now. Run through those real quick, and then I'll say more.
So the first role we're looking for, the first 2 roles, we're looking for a couple of different kinds of either MBA or Masters in Computer Science type candidates. The Twitch Prime live showrunner intern is probably the funnest one to talk about because it's that intersection between live television, Twitch, games, community, and if all of that came together and had a love child, that's what you get to do as a showrunner intern. The game doesn't that sound awesome?
That's good.
What you should be, that person, right now, part of my team that the showrunner will be a part of is sitting behind the screen here, right behind us. And that could be you producing shows like this and more that we're working on for the future. Because we think there's an opportunity to put content on Twitch that goes beyond what you see there today. So...
And then Amazon Game Publishing Services, those are product manager roles where we are looking at, to the earlier point about how do you integrate technology across Amazon and pull in some of the best parts of Amazon, whether it's Audible or Kindle or Alexa or retail, into the game space or the Twitch Prime space or back over. That's what those interns would be working on is defining the design and the technology integrations. The AWS Game Tech SDE intern, that's both Lumberyard as well as some projects that we're working on that I can't talk about. But if you really like behind the scenes, the back end services that are the fundamentals of the internet, there's some way cool stuff going on in that space. And then the last one is you'd have to work with Ethan, but it is Twitch Prime. There are
the dig comes in.
Yeah, it's a big ask. Trust me. I don't even work for him, but I basically do anyway.
I have to sit next to him every day.
That's why I'm here.
I'm going to turn this all around when it is my turn to talk. I'm just going to sit quietly and stew.
Those are software development interns. We have almost 20 of those roles still open. And one that is a mystery role that I'm going to let Ethan talk about. The way you find out about those, is go to that link that we have, the AmazonGameStudios.splashthat.com, fill out the contact information, and next week we will send out a blast with here are the open roles. You can actually read the job descriptions, you can apply for them, and then I will get your resume to go take a look at and see where you'd be a good fit for the org.
And a couple things. People are asking about full-time. Yes, my team and all the orgs have full-time roles open. If you're a graduate, if you're out in the industry, it's jobs.amazon.com. Search for Twitch Prime. Search for Amazon Game Studios. You'll turn up all kinds of stuff. Second, there was some confusion in chat about master's degree or not. For tech, you don't need to have a master's degree. For the first two positions, which are really business positions, we think those fit well for people who are in their MBA and are interns there. But if you're interested, come to us and let's talk. Finally, Danny and I were talking before the show this morning, and we realized we had one unallocated intern position. So that's what we call the mystery intern at this point. So here's the biggest possible challenge for you. Go to Amazon Game Studios, the splashthat.com link. If you think you should work here as an intern with our team, tell us what you think you should do based on all you've heard, and we can put that internship with the right person in the right job. So this is your wide open opportunity to pitch us on what you want to do. And for those of us who know, Devin and I stream together a lot. We're going to do a fun show on his channel in the future next Tuesday called the Twitch Pitch.
It's like Twitch Shark Tank.
It's
That's
where
awesome.
you can pitch
That's
ideas.
awesome.
But this is your chance to pitch us on an internship.
And one note on internships that I think is really cool. One of the internships that I did for a VC firm when I was younger literally changed the course of direction of my life. So I think I've done videos about this on my YouTube. I think that if you have the opportunity to do an internship with a progressive company like Amazon, that at an early age, that can literally change your entire life. And all y'all that are listening from CMU are really smart because you just said a whole lot of words about what those jobs were. And I think I probably got like 3 or 4 of them. I think and maybe it were in there.
And fun.
Yes, and fun. Yes,
Got that
yeah.
one.
But for CMU students who are like actually like super big brain, this is your jam. This is your opportunity to really take it to the next level. I think. Like no word of a lie. I think I think internships can really be the next thing that like separate you from to a successful career.
I do see something up there that that I'm always sensitive to. I'm sure that anybody that's going through college, has been through college, understands the MBA. Mm-hmm. Does everybody understand what an SDE is?
Nope.
Good point. So an SDE is a software development engineer, and it means that you have had enough programming and enough of the CS classes so that you can pass an interview to say that yes, you can write C++, you can write Python, you can write C#, and be able to work on our products. Where we differ from a lot of other programs that you may see at other companies is game tech still has to be fairly low level. So we do ask for most of our roles that you've got C++, C# background because New World, that's what it's written in.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you have to be a CMU student to apply for these internships?
Absolutely not.
No, that's why I called you guys here.
Yeah.
Because you could also do this too.
Yeah,
Come to Seattle and see me.
And for somebody asked
I'm
where
right here.
the mystery internship I described can go anywhere in Amazon games. So it doesn't go anywhere in Amazon. There are internships at Amazon. You can learn more about those. I think it's student.amazon.com. I may have that wrong. The mods will correct me if I have it wrong. But it's wide open. You neither need to be from CMU nor jobs.amazon.com. The last time I checked, there are questions about full-time employment. The last time I looked on jobs.amazon.com, it had approximately 25,000 open full-time jobs spread all over the world. So you can do anything you want there. The last thing I want to cover, and I'll speak to this because I spent the last 4 years working inside of Twitch, is Twitch itself. So Twitch is an Amazon subsidiary, and it's actively hiring full-time, full-stack, both interns and engineers in their San Francisco, Seattle, and Irvine offices. You have the 2 links there, either Twitch TV jobs internships or Twitch TV jobs, depending on whether you're looking for an internship or full-time. And as they say, you'd look great in purple. And you can work.
Good in purple.
Yeah, you can work inside Twitch, help build the very experience you're enjoying. Working at Twitch is incredible. They have great headquarters buildings in all 3 cities.
They have really good food.
They have really good food.
That's like why you should go.
I like the
It's
artwork.
yeah, actually, especially the new one.
Yeah.
the new HQ is really
I
good.
love the building here, but the building in San Francisco is like a special place.
It is.
It
The
is.
Twitch headquarters is amazing.
Yeah.
There's no question.
I almost applied for the chief marketing officer position they had up.
Yeah.
I think I could have got it.
Just so you could like walk
Eat the
around
food.
that. Yo,
That's
not bad.
I wouldn't actually do anything.
Checks out.
So with that, we'd love to take questions. I know some people maybe at Carnegie Mellon where it's getting late, maybe the pizza's run out, you feel you need to grab your free t-shirt or
it's like 7
your free t-shirt or your commemorative mug and go. But I hope you don't, because we'd love to take your questions either in chat or in back channel here from the auditorium about what you'd like to know about New World or about Amazon Games.
So I'll take the bachelor's question.
Okay.
If you are graduating in the spring of 2020, you are not eligible for one of our internships. You are eligible, however, for a fresh out of college new hire position. So go out to Amazon.com, go to the careers website, or is it careers.amazon.com, or you can scroll to the bottom of retail and choose careers. And go look for the new college hire positions that are across all the job families.
Absolutely. And it's getting a little late in that job season.
Yep.
If you're graduating in 2020,
Get on it.
get on it, because there's a lot of demand, obviously, a lot of people. But in any case, I can take us back to full screen here. What do you know? Because we're done showing stuff. So what else would people like to know? We'll hang out for a few minutes. We have Nick here who's producing the game. As you saw, it comes out in May. So counting down. Friends and family, we might let Devin in. Of course, we're going to, just for fun to torture him, we're going to slap a big fat hairy NDA on him so he can play it and say it's great, but nothing else.
That's it.
That makes it fun.
I'm going to develop my own code language with my Twitch chat where you'll never know that I'm saying things about
It'll be the all emote reveal.
Right.
Completely.
I'm going to speak only in emotes about the game.
And then
PogChamp.
Yeah. So what do you? Somebody asked earlier. I see this question. Well, Danny, why don't you take the one? How many women are usually taken for these programs? What do you want to say about that?
We do not have criteria for number of people we hire of whatever you look like or are. What we do is make sure we have a diverse slate of candidates for every internship, and that's actually one of my heavy focuses this year, is to make sure that every role that we interview for has a diverse slate of candidates across a variety of dimensions so that we get that diversity of perspective and diversity of background.
There's questions. Are you looking for UX researchers? I know Twitch is. I believe we are as well. So that's a role we have. The question has been a few times. What do you? And there's the secret chat emote language coming up.
Yeah. Well, that's literally every one of my emotes simultaneously. Like, that guy's going hard. Good job, buddy.
I see that the program I helped build that filters or reviews emotes worked well in your case. There's nothing there I feel bad about.
Yeah. I'm very PC when I get my emotes done.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be.
So Victor TV, we answered your question earlier. We are still looking for interns. The list is right there. So look quick.
Screenshot.
Yeah.
Piazza.
So we'll put it back in a second.
Oh, the eggs.
So
that's the people that are really dumb in my chat. We make the little guy.
The drooling eggplant.
The
drooling eggplant.
Yeah.
So, and there's actually, the mods have put up in chat a way to get the full list of opportunities. Somebody asked about the culture. Nick, you're in the line working on this. Yeah. What would you say about the culture?
Games are an interesting place because no matter where I've worked, I've been in the industry for over 20 years now. There's always the North Star of let's entertain people. If you've got a good idea, let's give it a shot. there's a lot of hard work that goes on. There's a lot of like deep and interested and dedicated people that dive really deep into what they want to do. So if you're like me, where I just get excited, if you're excited about something, I just kind of like, oh, I'm interested in that too now, you know. It works out really well. The culture itself is also, it still is, we're making games. We're still having fun. We're still supposed to be enjoying ourselves. You can't do one without the other. I thought that was pretty interesting. Maybe if you're, we always joke about it's not rocket surgery. If you're doing something where lives are on the, if you're doing something where lives are on the line.
I like how you mashed up rocket science and brain surgery.
Lives are on the line for this, okay? I'm telling you, my life is on the line.
You have changed the way I think about the impact it might have on people.
I want that to be an imprint in your mind.
Flat food and
yes.
bio breaks optional.
Your objective is to get me back into full quesadilla mode. All right. Also, I just stared directly at the studio light and blinded myself. It's really stupid, but I really like this question. What are the qualities that make people successful at Amazon and Twitch? That is a super cool question.
Oh, that is a good question.
Grit. Our favorite answer to that is grit. For example, we found that having technical skills sufficient to program is nice. It's required, but it doesn't get you through trouble. In other words, the thing that makes people successful at Amazon, you'll run into problems, obstacles, resource shortages, new technical challenges, and you need people who are like want to overcome that and are willing to fight through setbacks. Yeah. Because all programs have setbacks. Yeah. And particularly anything this complex, whether it's stuff we've done with Prime or with our games, you run into things that you just didn't anticipate.
Yeah. I think to have true satisfaction in the process, be like, this is really complicated, that didn't work, let's try it again. That's been a big part of what's made somebody successful. What's made sort of good things happen is actually loving the process of getting through the work, because not everything goes smoothly. There's almost always a bump along the way.
Yeah, and so do you want to add?
I was just going to say, one of the things that I have always loved in the years I've been here is I have never worked with so many brilliant people that care about the customers more than they care about themselves. You can always pick up the phone and call somebody and say, hey, I need help in understanding X, and whether it's customer support or, something to do with regulations over in Germany or, whatever it happens to be, you will find an expert in the company who happily will help you.
Yeah, that's some of the fun. One of the most fun things I've done here, believe it or not, is deal with system outages, and you're like, that doesn't sound like fun. That sounds like a leg amputation.
Rocket surgery.
Well, when things go down at Amazon, which is rare, we have a ticketing system, a trouble ticket system, and they have different severities, and you end up with what's called a Sev1 ticket, which basically means there's a number of definitions, but it amounts to either a major AWS service is down or something is impacting a huge amount of Amazon retail customers. And even though we're a large company, it becomes all hands on deck. And we page in or call in people from every impacted team. And there are actually people here it's not their only job, but a key part of their job is running and coordinating a call that may have 60 teams on it trying to debug a problem. And why is Amazon down? Because obviously if Amazon is down, or a big piece of Amazon is down, or a big piece of AWS is down, it's national news, it's global news, and our customers can't get what they're paying for.
Is there like a alert that goes off like Starship Troopers, and everybody goes into this like barracks and like gets the like keyboards, and they all run out like simultaneously, and there's like roar, roar, like they're all putting on the helmets and shit.
So there is a red siren on our internal website.
That's amazing.
And so the red siren pops up so that everyone knows there's a incident in progress.
The few times that Amazon goes down, there's just dogs. You know that?
Yeah.
You know that?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
of course you guys know about that.
There's someone in chat talking about the corgis. There was someone who's there. And yes, our building is full of dogs. It's a dog-friendly workplace.
It's actually absurd.
But the point is,
there's so many dogs here.
There's a lot of dogs here.
Yeah.
But it's actually fun to work in that crisis environment. And obviously, referring back to CMU, I don't pull as many all-nighters here as I did there, but that's when I do it. And I have worked all night here when something's down and broken, because you got to fix it, and that's actually where the excitement is.
Yep.
But what I wanted to say about the culture is everyone drops what they're doing and pulls together.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like when that happens, when there's a problem or an outage, the roadmaps go out the window, maybe rivalries between any groups or friendly competition go out the window, and people just show up, and how can I help? And you will see people fetching food, quesadillas to go under the door, whatever is
Here's
needed.
the thing. If I craft a food item in New World, no, hold on. I got this is a $1 million deal idea, Chief. Fresh from Devin Nash to you. Free suggestion.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
I want.
We're taking notes.
I'm gonna craft that food item in the game of New World.
Yes.
And then we prime now the same copy of the food item to my house.
Right.
With Amazon integration.
And you know what? This
like
is something
it.
that's only possible with the power of Amazon.
That's right. That's what I want.
I like
if
it.
you make the blacksmith
It's
sword, I want a copy of that sword that comes to my house in
mail
Prime
2
now
hours.
delivered?
Yeah, exactly.
Fit under the door.
Prime now. In Seattle, you
Great
can do
opportunity
that.
for Twitch Prime.
I once ordered a pair of nail clippers from Amazon Prime Now, and it freaking showed up in an hour. The
Yep.
guy just showed up with a bag and handed me it. I was like, I'm in the. I was about to curse. This is the future.
This is the future.
This is some Blade Runner shit. Like, that is actually crazy. Yeah. It's insane.
A mutual friend of Ethan's and mine was in the middle of cooking dinner and realized he was out of an ingredient, so he primed out it to his house in time to finish dinner for the kids.
It's bananas.
That's
yeah,
good.
it's actually bonkers.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think it was apples, not
Yeah.
bananas.
Was it bananas? It's making soup.
Nice.
So, any other questions about New World, etc.? We'll wrap it up here in a few minutes, but we love the fact that you've all come in to hear about the game, to hear about what we do. I wouldn't be doing things good justice if I didn't encourage you to follow at Devin Nash, his Twitch channel. Devin Nash, you can find him on YouTube as well.
Don't listen to him. This channel's horrible.
It is.
Definitely,
It's full of trolls.
Definitely don't go to twitch.tv/Devin Nash. Definitely don't follow that stream. Definitely don't go to my Discord, discord.gg/Devin. And definitely don't subscribe with Twitch Prime as much as possible.
Definitely don't use Twitch Prime.
Yeah.
I show
And
up
don't
for the
pre-order
drooling
New
egg
World.
plan.
Yes.
And don't pre-order New World. We want no
definitely.
pre-orders
Yeah.
for this game.
Yeah.
Yep.
Also,
Oh, wait.
it's opposite day.
I have to go down and visit them in a couple of weeks. They're going to say, couldn't you have at least tried to say pre-order New World?
Yeah, you
No,
have
no,
to
just
say it,
kidding.
dude. I mean,
Well,
I
it's
think
because they all already have.
There was
That's true.
also 4
That's true.
clips that were like pre-order New World, and the real reality I think is that like people are gonna see how cool the game is and then they'll buy it. You know, like that's what I'm gonna. I'm gonna try to get it for free, but if I can't, I'll buy it. But that's just me. You should buy it.
All right. So I don't see. I see a lot of fun questions coming up. Let's see. I've been hearing lots of talk about integration and software development with the infrastructure of Twitch. Is there still interest in interns for design and development on the game itself? So
The game is.
They're not listed there, but we do still have 2 openings for actual roles in one of the games under development.
okay. So it may not be New World. We have other games under development, quite a few, at different levels and in different genres. So I can't say more than that, except this is the title we're able to talk about and have all the great art and trailers for now. But you will see, can I say how many more? No, I cannot. But you'll hear more. Stay tuned. And let's see, what else we have? How many more interns? We'll get...
So if you've applied at a regular Amazon internship role, those roles are on a wait list right now as they sort through everybody. I do not know what the estimate is to get off of that. If you apply directly to our roles, we're going through those as quickly as possible because we want to close out all the hires in the next probably 6 weeks.
Wow.
And I see a lot of questions about Twitch. There's tons of opportunities at Twitch.
Yes.
I will leave this up longer than I did last time, just so everyone can grab the links. It's not very hard, though, Twitch TV/jobs, and go from there.
It's also updated all the time. So, like, there's different jobs on there almost like day to day.
Yeah, and
I go on there frequently. I don't know why. Yeah.
So we haven't actually
on you.
Just to see what you're doing, even.
Yeah, I would say someone called out. Devin and I collaborated to make a video on how to make a great resume, as well as how to interview well.
We basically gave you the tools you need to actually apply that job and actually get it, which some people have used to do it. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
In fact, there's a video. I also stream. There's a video on my channel. I'm Ethan Evans at Twitch and Ethan Evans VP at YouTube. And there's a video of me coaching an intern applicant for Twitch, and he will now be a summer intern at Twitch. So you can go watch someone that I worked with on stream about what it would take to work at Twitch. And then his name's Bilal. You can find an interview video with me and him. And then he went into Twitch, and he'll be working there this summer. So absolutely, both the Twitch as an independent subsidiary of Amazon and Amazon itself are hiring.
Yeah.
And yeah, we have tons of videos out there because we want to help you.
My resume and interview video are on YouTube.
Yeah.
But if they're not, they will be.
Yeah. So we have all right. So with that, I think we'll wrap it up. It's been awesome, all of you, to come and stay with us, to participate in chat. We've loved having you here. We've been taking notes on everything said here in chat. At least I have, the longtime fans who dropped in.
He's keeping his eye on you, chat.
Yeah, that's true.
That's right.
So I am reading everything in chat. But we'd love to see you all here at Amazon. And if Amazon isn't the right fit for you today, we believe there's a chapter at Amazon in your future. And if that's not true either for you right now, there is absolutely a copy of New World.
There's absolutely
in your
a copy
future.
of New World.
If you don't want to have a job, just play games. Like you have a choice.
You gotta start somewhere.
Yeah.
All right, and with that, thank you so much. We're gonna say goodbye. CMU, come on out. I need more of my people here. All right, cheers.
I'll work on getting y'all beta codes, chat. Thanks for having us. Wait, what?
Wait, what?
Me?
All right, let's do this. Hi, I'm Ethan Evans. I hope you've gotten a lot out of this show. To follow us on YouTube, please click the bell icon in the bottom left and subscribe. Also, you can find us live on Twitch, where we answer questions interactively. Further, we have a Discord community, where not only I, but other members of the community team up to answer your questions interactively. Hope you've enjoyed. Thank you.